What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What Super Boo is Good, episode 1. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. In this timeline, when Fat Boo expelled all his evil, the evil half is actually weaker than the good half, giving the Fat Blob the advantage in battle. He'd beat the Great Sludge down, with Mr. Satan and his dog watching in awe. The good Boo will use the candy beam and consumes the evil Boo, morphing his body into a slender, buff beast. Boo takes on his Super Boo appearance, however there's one key difference. He isn't evil, but instead he's good. He looks at Mr. Satan, asking if he's okay, which the coward nods at, asking if it's really Boo. He'd hug Boo in tears, telling him how happy he is that he's okay, which makes Boo smile. The trio of Boo, Bee and Satan will be having some relaxation time, just enjoying their time together. They'd eat and play and have some cute bonding moments that are mostly played off as gag relief. Meanwhile, on the lookout, Goten and Trunks will be training in the hyperbolic time chamber, getting the full amount of time instead, making them stronger than they were originally when they fought Boo. They exit and fuse into Gotenks before darting off, despite Piccolo's better wishes. They arrive at Boo's house, telling him that they've come to take ass and kick names, before realizing what they've said, getting frustrated that they can't even insult properly. Their hair turns golden as they go Super Saiyan, and rush at Boo, beginning to battle him despite Mr. Satan shouting for them to stop. Boo would be fighting back naturally, since he won't just let some kids beat him up, making it seem like he's still evil, even though Mr. Satan knows he isn't. Piccolo arrives and would shout to Gotenks to stop messing around, which the boys would listen to begrudgingly. They begin to charge their ki as their power rises and they transform to a Super Saiyan 3, bragging as they do so. They use the Die missile barrage, the big 2 cannon, and even a burning Kamehameha, taking advantage of Boo's regeneration to use flashy moves and mess around. They use the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack and send it at Boo, which he begins to regenerate easily. Gotenks begins to charge a massive blast for the grand finale, before defusing in a comedic manner as Piccolo facepalms. Seeing Boo's rage begin to rise, Mr. Satan rushes over, telling the Jin to calm down, which Boo ignores angry. They just attacked him and he won't have it. His ki begins to rise, pushing Mr. Satan backwards as Piccolo, Goten and Trunks get some distance, worried at their opponent's strength. Just then, they sense something coming. Something strong and familiar. They realize it's Gohan as he arrives, punching Super Boo in the gut. He gets cocky, using his strength to knock Boo around, knocking him to the ground after a beatdown. The three Z warriors leap backwards, leaving Mr. Satan and Bee near their house as Gohan begins to charge up a massive Kamehameha. Realizing that Gohan's going to kill Boo, Mr. Satan and Bee rush towards the pink blob, standing in front of him as Gohan unleashes the blast, not realizing that they are there. The blast hits and when the smoke clears, Boo is the only one that remains, yet he looks different. His chin is more distinct and he wears an iconic gi of the Satan Dojo. Gohan looks confused as Piccolo flies over to the boy, having seen everything. He tells Gohan about how Satan and Bee ran in front of Boo to protect him, and the pink Djinn absorbed them to save them. This doesn't make sense to Gohan. Why would Boo save them? While the two are talking, Boo is busy acting like Mr. Satan, training a bunch of comedic moves, all having dumb names. Goten and Trunks look in confusion and chuckle to themselves while watching. They ask Boo what he's doing and get a comedic response in return. That smug, smaggy-haired youngin wants a piece of me? Well, I'll show him. No one messes with the champ. Gohan and Piccolo land next to Boo, with him turning around, asking if Gohan is ready for round 2 of their legendary battle, which Gohan sweat drops at, telling him no. He asks him if he can release Mr. Satan and Bee, which Boo is reluctant about. He goes inside himself to speak with Mr. Satan about this, who tells Boo to let him and Bee out, which he agrees. From out of the holes in his head, 2 tiny sacs expel, rapidly growing while they see Mr. Satan and Bee inside. Just fine. Gohan would rip them out, and he and Piccolo would take Mr. Satan aside to talk. He explains everything about how Boo's changed, and they believe him, looking over to see Boo chasing Bee, Goten and Trunks, smiling. The threat of Boo is over, and now they have a powerful ally on their side. Everyone who died would be revived except for Goku, as he sees no need to come back. When hearing about how Boo is essentially just a strong toddler, who isn't even evil anymore, Vegeta becomes shocked and a bit annoyed that he wastes his life for nothing. He continues training like normal so he can avoid having to resort to that in the future. Mr. Satan would learn quickly that this version of Boo has a technique that the other didn't. He can absorb people and take on their traits, as well as skills, which Mr. Satan would think is cool. He and Boo would test out the skill, and learn a way to use the technique in tandem. Inside the pink sack, Satan would give a view of what Boo can see, and would be giving him some advice which Boo would take. It'd be cool to see the techniques to show to the press, especially when Boo can use magic to make himself look just like Mr. Satan to fight. It makes his credibility go up significantly, since he can demonstrate the power that he's been saying he possesses, and so he'd get a lot more fighters to fight him, and he'd beat them, and it just makes him look a lot better. Over with the Sun family, Chi-Chi would be having financial problems, which she'd bring up to Gohan, who would help his family by giving them some of his money whenever he gets paid with his own job. He'd mention this fact to Videl, who would mention it to Mr. Satan, who'd give them a big amount of money, feeling gratitude for Gohan sparing Boo. After 4 years, Beerus would awaken and goes to King Kai's planet, where he encounters Goku, claps him, and goes to Bulma's birthday party. They'd meet Vegeta, and be invited to the party, with Whis taking some interest in Super Boo. He asks Beerus if he feels it as well, which the cat god nods at. He asks Vegeta why the chewing gum monster possesses God Ki, which shocks Vegeta. This is certainly news to him. They drop the subject rather quickly, however. It is interesting for people to note to later. Just like canon, Boo would eat all the pudding and raging Beerus. When they fight, Boo tries to absorb Beerus, which doesn't work, and he's blasted away. Beerus goes to fight the others as Boo absorbs Mr. Satan, exclaiming to Beerus that he'll kick his ass before getting Beerus to punch him so hard that he knocks Satan out of him. Before Beerus can kill everyone, Goku uses King Kai to telepathically speak with everyone there, asking them to use Shenron to figure out how to summon the Super Saiyan God, which they would. When learning they need 6 Saiyans, Whis would leave and come back with a newly revived Goku, and the ritual takes place where the Battle of Gods arc plays out just like canon. After the arc wraps up, Goku would become a farmer, but would also keep up his training. He began training with Super Boo on occasion, since he heard about how he possesses God Ki, and he can train with him to get a better grasp of the ability. It'd mean that by the time he leaves to train with Whis, he's got a grasp how to use God Ki willingly, and can transform into Super Saiyan God at will. It'd also be fun to include the filler with the dog aliens, who heard that Mr. Satan supposedly beat Beerus. He'd get absorbed by Boo, who assumes his appearance, and begins to battle them with some creative choreography. For example, he could sprout a bunch of arms and use a 100 legendary dynamite punch barrage, or shove his leg on the ground and extend it out in a different location, like Boo does in the Tenkaichi games. Stuff like that would be fun to watch and would make the crowd go wild, as Hercule would shout out different names, and it'd just be overall fun. But yeah, that's all over here. You should like and subscribe and comment below. Let's go up in the next episode. Bye!